So the story of Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't exactly end where the main campaign actually ends. It goes a bit deeper, similar to how the Anthem and Xehanort reports do in their respective games. The Secret Reports fills those gaps the same way in Kingdom Hearts 3, as it fills in the plot holes that we feel that we may not exactly have gotten the answers we wanted or weren't answered at all through these reports. Now, my friend Prodigy XCD highly advised me to not speak about Kingdom Hearts until I watch these secret reports, and I really have got to read through these because my man knows what he's talking about. So, and I'm sure I'm over here trying to theorize and he's gonna say just read the reports. So I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be really informal. I'm just gonna legit downloaded it and we're just gonna read through them. No more talking, no more waiting. We're going into it. Let's see this secret report right now. There's like there are 13 of them. It says, am I alive? I awoke in a cell alone until the researchers came with their tests and their prodding to uncover my identity. I had no answer to offer them. 4 friends and a key. That is the sum total of my memory. I could not even recall my name. I was simply called X there. My only solace was the time I spent talking with the 2 boys who would visit from time to time. One day a man came to take me from the prison. I could not see him for the darkness, save that he wore an eye patch. Even now, years on, I feel no closer to understanding who or what I am. May my heart be my guiding key. Wait, their name X, that makes me think that they're Xehanort. It could also be Luxu, but Luxu has all his memory from the past. I don't think he would be called X, so that wouldn't really make much sense. So was Xehanort? No, that wouldn't make any sense. That wouldn't make any sense because Xehanort has his memory of the past too. That wouldn't make any sense. Some days have passed since I set off on my journey to prepare for the Mark of Mastery examination. Ericus asked for leave to undertake the same pilgrimage. But apparently I am the first to tour the worlds written off in the old fairy tales. A few short years ago, I'd known only my own world, a speck of land surrounded by the sea, Destiny Islands, has got to be Xehanort, but how I'd dreamed of, yearned for the world beyond, and granted guidance from the future. I left that nest behind as I treaded the path to my master's side. I came in contact with darkness in many forms. I knew even then, as by instinct. Terrifying as his power was, it could be harnessed, mastered. Ericus is a blue blood, descended from the very first masters in the age of fairy tales. What, he's like their descendant? Wait, what? But I did not come this far to indulge in adulation. I will be his peer, his equal, and to do that I must learn to wield the power born from both darkness and light in proper balance. So that's Xehanort. Yeah, okay, it was. That's the only thing that makes sense. Experiments of the heart. Notes on subject X. Excerpt 1. Subject was found in the central square shortly after dawn. Female, approximately 15 years old after 7 days observation. She spoke her first words but could not provide a name. Subject exhibits signs of profound amnesia and displays concern about which world this is. Her words suggest that she departed her home world with others, though she cannot recall the names of her erstwhile companions. All efforts to explore those memories have met with a rejection response. After his initial experiments on me, Ansem the Wise ceased his research into the heart, his hand stayed by some fear I cannot fathom. Yet this new subject is like me, devoid of memories. She's the perfect sample upon which to continue my master's work. She too could benefit from it, by traversing the heart. We have a direct path into memory. I myself have begun to reclaim my lost past thanks to these very experiments. Who is she? Whence has she come? These are questions no scientist could ignore. And the words she muttered, may your heart be your guiding key. So Xehanort remembers that quote too. He was also saying that. And he said he remembers his lost past. So Xehanort is also somebody from the past. Is it talking Unchained Key timeline? Union Cross timeline? Like that time period? How far back are we talking? How far back are we talking? That's the real question. Experiments of the heart. Notes on Subject X, Excerpt 2. Subject's memories have not returned, and our conversations remain less than lucid. What fragments can be gleaned evoke a bygone world, like one out of a fairy tale. As improbable as it seems, the question may not be where she has come from, but when. If she truly has crossed through time, the prospect of probing her heart is all the more compelling. You're talking about a girl. Okay, the girl. Is this the girl? They're researching on her. So is it Ansem the Wise in them? They're researching on a girl. Is this the girl that Lee and Isa were talking about in Kingdom Hearts 3? Lee and Isa had, did all of this, even joined up with Ansem the Wise's crew, all to just find this girl. And they don't know what ended up happening to her. So now they're saying that girl could have come through time. Maybe that's why they thought there was something special or weird about her. That's strange. And if they did come from the past and say it was Union Cross time, who would it be? Maybe it was, no, they gotta be 15 years old. Maybe, I was thinking maybe it was Lady Ava, but that wouldn't be possible. The only ones we know that, well, Strelitzia died. I gotta read that new update. Watch Strelitzia actually be alive. I got to. I know. Don't be in my comments telling me. I know. By the time this video is posted, I already seen it. Okay, but that made the prospect of probing her heart all the more compelling. My pilot studies used a handful of subjects, but none possessed the fortitude to endure them. Ultimately, all suffered mental collapse. I knew it would be a heavy blow to lose a subject as unique as she. Upon discovering the tests I've been conducting, my master demanded that I cease my work immediately and destroy what research I have compiled. Worse still, he ordered the release of my remaining subjects. She is gone. Where is Subject X now? Has Ansem the wise Master Ansem hidden her away? Whatever the case, I will not be deterred. I will take her place as the first subject in the grand experiment to come. So he's going to experiment on himself now, and the girl's been released, and alongside the other subjects he has, Xehanort's been researching and performing human experimentation, and now it's, Ansem the Wise made him stop. So that's strange. But if we're talking, this is Xehanort, afterbirth by sleep then. So, okay, yeah, now I'm getting it. That past that he was talking about where he's recovering his memories, he's referring to him having amnesia from when he woke up, as Terranord, after the fight with Aqua, and he didn't have any of his memories, and Braig asked him if he, remembered. So, I'm not sure. So, I think that's the time it's talking about. And I remember in KH2, he was saying, about the experimentation he would like to proceed with going on with it, but then Ansem the Wise forbade him from going further, and so he probably got caught doing it still anyway, and that's when he ordered the release of everything. So that's probably how that went down. Memoirs, Excerpt 1. That castle was a wonderland to us children. Within its walls, Ansem the Wise conducted his research, and the fruits it bore allowed everyone outside to live in peace and happiness. That alone was enough to stoke our interest, though not all the rumors that escaped its walls were so benevolent. By night, the muffled sounds of human wails emerged. There was talk of a dangerous human experimentation going on. Lee and I couldn't help but hatch a plot to steal inside and stake our curiosity. This is Isa talking. This is Isa. He said Lee and I, so it's gotta be. The two who stood guard at the gate were researchers themselves, though you wouldn't think it to see them massive and barrel-chested as they were, and slipping past that duo was only the first hurdle. It proved one not easily cleared. We were found and tossed out on our ears time and again. On the day we finally secured our entry, we descended the long spiral stair at the heart of the castle to find a dark space below it. Lined with cages, it wasn't light enough to see if they were uninhabited, and we were in no position to call out to any occupants within, yet we could feel it, a definite presence there, and the black terror washed over us, and we immediately regretted coming. But just as we turned to flee, we heard the faintest voices. The urge to rush was nigh overpowering, but someone or something beckoned us on. There, framed by a tenuous sliver of light, we found her. So it was the girl. Was this their first time seeing her? I think that had to be their first time, and I believe they remember in KH3 they said they became friends with her. It was too dim to make out her features. We spoke to her in a hushed whisper. Who was she? Why was she in prison here? She had no answers for us, had no memories at all. She was an enigma, but I knew I wanted to help her, and so we continued our infiltrations. Most of them stopped short at the castle gates. When we did manage our way inside, we spoke with her. That was all the comfort two children like us could offer. But Lee had other ideas. He was determined to free her. Lee was, I thought Isa was the one really trying to save her, because Lee was the one who gave up. We slipped into the castle that day knowing only that we wanted with all our hearts to save her. But we did not find her inside on that day or the next, or any of our subsequent visits. Has she been moved? Had we simply imagined her? Lee and I knew there was only one way to be certain, and so we stand before the castle gates today, not as trespassing children, but in order to become Ansem the Wise's newest apprentices. That's a lot better than sneaking in. On the replica program reanimation, following my erasure and recompletion as a human, I did not awaken right away. This is Evan. Perhaps the damage was exceptionally grave. Even after waking, I remained in bed, pondering my next course of action. In my work on the replica program, for the organization, I produced some 20 vessels. Most of the early results were failures, not one of them granted a number. The first success to emerge from that early lot was the Riku replica, subsequently Shion, and she was the number 14, or I say number I don't know, was essentially indistinguishable from a natural human, though she became unstable due to the influence of others. Using those two as my foundation, I worked to construct a number of nigh-perfect replicas. Like we saw in Kingdom Hearts 3, that replica was perfect, and they even ended up getting their own replicas to stay alive. But just as they neared completion, my efforts were cut short. I suspect Xehanort aims to use both the initial lot as well as the unused replica from my later work. Wait, what? He did. This during days. Using those two as my foundation, I worked to construct a number of nigh-perfect replicas. So Kingdom Hearts 3? But just as they neared completion, my efforts were cut short. I suspect Xehanort aimed... No, because he died in Rechain, so... initialized unused replicas from my later work. I rose today and decided to walk out to the square, my first outing in some time, yet my stroll was interrupted when a surprising visitor appeared with an unexpected offer. Though younger than me, he'd risen to become Xemnas' right hand. Braig? He'd risen, okay, become his right hand. I accepted his terms and became a nobody once more. Easier to gain access to the old replica program that way, whatever it takes to atone. Because, I remember when I was in Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like, no, he's gonna be evil. Evan's still evil. He's not actually trying to atone, but no, he really was trying to atone. So yeah, this guy that came to him has to be Braig, Xigbar, aka Luciu. So that's how he ended up becoming Xemnas' right hand, because he's Luciu. Because he wanted to get his Keyblade. I mean, he also knew Xehanort back in Birth by Sleep days, so that's also probably why he probably trusted them more than anybody else. Probably. Xehanort seeks to gather 12 vessels of the real organization, which together with his true actual self, he considers the real organization 13. Now that he has the numbers he needs, Demyx and I are being treated as reserves. Several others who served Xemnas in the old organization have followed the same course as mine, electing to abandon their newly restored humanity and rejoin the real organization as nobodies. But not Xemnas. Xemnas cannot exist in the present because there is already a Xehanort here, the old man in charge. So that Xemnas was from the past. The old man's humanity prevents his heartless and nobody, others vanquished in the past, and his younger self from being denizens of this time. To circumvent this, Xehanort is using the prototype replicas. Xemnas was a replica. I didn't realize that. It didn't look like he was a replica. I created in the past as containers, plucking his other self's hearts from the time they existed. Xehanort ordered me to refine the prototypes to make them closer to still the real thing. To be the real thing. Perfecting my creations so that they may house truth, flesh and blood. Humans suit my own purposes as well. All that remains for my atonement is to devise a way to pass on as many of the vessels as I can to those who truly deserve them. See, yeah, he was just going along because, he's, a mole in the organization. That's how he was able still to get, And he teamed up with DESC to get, the whole, DESC actually didn't die now that I think about it. What's DESC doing? But yeah, he used DESC in order to get another replica to Ienzo originally, and he was just trying to atone this whole time, and it's sad. I'm just glad he survived in the end, I'm glad. Ansem Code Conspectus Excerpt 1. I have pored over the data my master entrusted to Riku. Here I offer my preliminary conclusions. Within Sora's heart are 3 compartmentalized boxes, each containing the heart of another. One box holds Roxas, another holds a second heart that has been with Sora nearly as long. The third heart has held its heart for much longer. These hearts have melded with Sora's and no longer have voices of their own. Any attempt to mechanically extract them could prove as dire for Sora as what caused him to have a heartless in the first place. So kill him, pretty much. First, a vessel for each heart must be readied. Then a spark of some sort is required to induce its waking. Obviously, the ideal solution is to restore each heart to its own body, but whatever the case for the 2 unknown individuals, Roxas possesses no such thing. The same is true for Namine, who we believe resides in Kairi's heart. Still, if alternate bodies can be secured for them, all their hearts required to be awakened is that spark. People who cared for and who cared for them can show them the way home. Complete and perfect digitalization of the heart is impossible. We can only hope to partially reconstruct it. Thus, I see no way forward but extract the hearts we so desperately need directly from within Sora. Fortunately, the data stored within Twilight Town contains a near perfect record of the memories of those who lived there, and for Roxas and Namine especially, this is crucial. It's good. It's because a lot of her stuff came from her being in Twilight Town, because the mysterious tower that she was always in was in Twilight Town, and Roxas spent his time going back and forth between missions and getting ice cream and stuff in the tower. Even when he was still in the fake Twilight Town, he was still over there in Twilight Town with Hainer, Pince, and Olette, so not really surprised at that at the end of the day. As for how to contain their hearts, the only conceivable option is the replicas. If we transfer in the digital memories from the Twilight Town archive, the replicas should be able to reconstruct each individual's human appearance with near perfect results. Then their hearts need only the right spark to wake them, so they may find their way out of Sora and Kairi and into those newly made bodies. The replica program was truly revolutionary, but it was incomplete at the time of the old organization's dissolution. Even without Evan, how are we to further the research? We need at least 3 replicas, one for Roxas, one for Namine, and one for the unknown stowaway within Sora's heart. These are difficult quandaries, but as I work through my master's data, I find myself remembering the taste of ice cream. When I was a boy, he would bring me some when we took walks together. There would be time to regret my betrayal later on. For now, my focus must be restoring Roxas and Namine and proving my master had good intentions. That's so good. Ienzo became such a good character, man. I really did like Ienzo. He's kind of twisted, in Recom, but I really liked him in KH3. He really was good. I know they were a little distrusting of him at first, but I really did enjoy that. I've seen it through. The Keyblade War unfolded exactly as written on the last page. Now the Keyblade, the master entrusted me, whoa, this Lucio? Hold up, I wasn't expecting that. I have seen it through. The Keyblade War unfolded exactly as written on the last page, on the lost page. Yeah, because that was the one page that was torn out of each of the foretellers' book of prophecies. That's why they did that. Now the Keyblade the master entrusted to me must be bequeathed to another. 5 union leaders have been chosen from the surviving Dandelions. That's the new foretellers, Ven and Ephemer, Scold, and all of them. I will pass the Keyblade to one of them and then continue. Is it Brain? No, I'm just saying because his character design. Nah, it couldn't be. I gotta freaking watch that key update. I know. Yet it seems that someone has pulled the old switcheroo. What are you talking about? One of the 5 is an imposter. What? Someone the master did not choose? They represent this is in the key update. I legit am about to watch this key update. Legit, I'm about to do that. Because, I'm about to do that right now. Okay. Now, I just watched all those cutscenes. Just I wanted to get it all, soak it all in, and based off what it is, what they said, it kind of did make sense. So it does make sense. They were talking about brain. You said, yet it seems someone has pulled the old switcheroo. One of the 5 is an imposter, someone the master did not choose. They represent a virus in the program he so carefully wrote. See, and they're talking about brain. He said he was going to be a virus because he knows that this place, the time they're in, is destined for ruin still, and they're on a straightway path for it. So he's going to try to change that fate, I guess. The virus has begun a strange undertaking, a reckless plot to allow the 5 to escape into another world line. Surely such a thing can't be possible. We're talking about the same trick that allowed the Dandelions to transfer other world lines after the Keyblade War. But these children are no masters. They haven't the means, unless, of course, a certain lady of magic summoned here from the future knows more than I do. The whole union leader thing was just supposed to be by the books. Are these new events just another phase in the master's grand plan? That's confusing. I'm not really sure who's talking here. Let's keep going. I'm not too sure who that could have been. Observations excerpt number 2. Even on a world line with no Keyblade War, peace is but a dream. In the absence of us and our master, a darkness arrived, one that shall surely lead the world to yet another demise. Amid the chaos, I bequeathed my Keyblade to one of the Union leaders, just as the master instructed. Yeah, this is Luciu. Maybe that was Luciu talking before. I watched as the 5 were sent to another world. You know, actually, it just kind of hit me. This story, like report number 11 and 12 right now, seemed to be the story Luciu ended off in the epilogue, because you know Luciu was about to tell them the story about everything that's happened this whole time, and he said, I hope you like long stories, and this is that story right here, or at least part of it. You know, I bequeathed my Keyblade to one of the Union leaders just as the master instructed. I watched as the 5 were sent to another world line at no small cost, ensuring the line of Keyblade wielders will live on, and now Keybladeless, I must depart this land to fulfill my final task. This means casting my own body aside and sojourning my heart in vessel after vessel, as many as it takes. But I will continue gazing upon each passing era, one onto the next. In time, be it years or decades, centuries or millennia, I will meet the 5 once more. Somewhere in this cynical history of bequeathing, a chosen one will appear and reenact the Keyblade War, and that's Xehanort. Or he's trying to reenact the Keyblade War. When this scapegoat arrives and takes my Keyblade in hand, that will be the time to take the stage and finish my role. The Lost Master. Okay, yeah. This is Luciu, and he's going. So my original theory before I changed it seems to be right in a sense. So Luciu isn't Xehanort. You know, Luciu was watching Xehanort. He was kind of using Xehanort as a pawn, if anything. And after bequeathing, you know, Keyblade to another person over and over and over and over again, he's saying even millennia, he wouldn't have cared. He would have kept doing it, because remember, he can live forever doing that. And the chosen one will appear to reenact Keyblade War, and Xehanort being that chosen one. And he takes his Keyblade in hand. That will be the time to take the stage and finish his role. And that role was to what exactly though? I'm trying to think back to the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, but he kind of just dipped. He didn't die, he just kind of acted like he did. It said, finish my role, the Lost Masters will awaken. So I think, yeah, this is when he finishes his role, and he's finishing his role was bringing the foretellers, the old foretellers, not the Union leaders, the foretellers to the present. That's what he was doing. That was the final part of his role. I wonder what for though? Why? This is the last one, I think. It seems this body, this name will be my last. The lives I have lived over the ages could fill volumes, but for now I must focus on what matters most. The Keyblade has been successfully passed down, generation to generation, and it seems a Keyblade master devoted to the darkness may finally arise. Until now I have watched over the course of events from a distance. Perhaps the time has come to intervene. I need only play the role of a fool desirous of the Keyblade's power, which is why Braig has been Braig / Xigbar has acted kind of like that, because he made him promise so he can get that Keyblade back, and Xehanort accepted that. I will don the mask of his ally in order to keep watch over my Keyblade from close by, and that's why Xigbar was number 2 in the organization too. He met him back in Birth by Sleep time, so it's not Xigbar seemed like someone trustworthy, because Xehanort knew him, and so it would make his nobody trust him too. The Gazing Eye, a Keyblade forged from the eye of the Master of Masters. He passed it to me, and I have to others, and through it he can see the future, all that will ever come to pass, spanning the ages in body after body, life after life. My task has been to keep vigil over the eye as it passes from hand to hand. It has been a long time, longer than I can express, but now, at last, the Keyblade War has begun, and Kingdom Hearts will open, a true and complete Kingdom Hearts, born of the clash between darkness and light. I will soon be reunited with my old companions, and in that moment my long vigil will reach its end. He will return. So the Master of Masters, it's all just to make the Master of Masters come back. That was the true goal of everything, because the Master of Masters wouldn't live that long anyway. It's just, that's how it's gonna be. But if he needed to see in the future to write the Book of Prophecies, but he also needed to do all this, pass the Keyblade down, write the Book of Prophecies. That's how the Gazing Eye could see everything that was going to happen, and they needed in order to be able to bring the foretellers back to the present, which I'm still not really sure why. And in that moment, my long vigil will reach its end. He will return. Now I'm thinking inside the box is probably, let's save that for the other video, because now I can actually make that video. Good. My friend Project CD were talking about, like, we were gonna do a collab on that video, but now I was like, dang, Kingdom Hearts 3 might make it so I can't make that video anymore. But definitely, so by he's returning, it definitely is the Master of Masters. The Master of Masters is the one he's trying to make return after all this time. That's what it is. So wow, that was wonderful. Wow, so the Master of Masters is gonna return. And again, like I kind of mentioned before in live stream, that the Master of Masters is who I think we saw in the secret ending. I kind of want to do a secret ending explain video going more in depth about that, but I highly believe that it was actually the Master of Masters we saw in the secret movie Yozora, and it definitely makes sense that being Master of Masters, especially after seeing this, it definitely makes sense to see the Master of Masters now. I mean, he was doing the same pose and everything. It makes sense. I mean, Lu Shu and the Foreteller's back. Why not him? We saw Ephemer in the game. Where are the Union leaders at? What happened with them? How does that end? Union Cross is still going on. It just got updated yesterday as from when this video was being recorded. So it's like, dang, I have no idea, man. But I guess that's it. I know this was a longer video than normal. For those of you guys that made it to the end and was able to see this for the first time through me, I really do appreciate your dedication and your loyalty for sticking through to the very end. I really do appreciate it. If you are new and you haven't already, please consider hitting the bell to subscribing, as it will make sure you never miss a video again, and it really helps us grow as a community, and that really does mean a lot to me, because that was my whole purpose making this channel in the first place. But if you enjoyed, please hit that like button for me. It really shows that you guys really do like the Kingdom Hearts content. You want more discussion, speculation, and theories coming your way. I do have some other top countdown videos, such as top 5 Keyblades in Kingdom Hearts 3, favorite worlds, favorite boss fights, etc. I do have stuff like that coming, but I really am interested in the lore and discussion of the videos to go forward right now. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name is KingdomAce, and remember, my loyal knights, to always look skyward.